Sexual abuse in daycare, as well as any kind of abuse in a daycare, we see everything from physical abuse, like hitting or throwing the kids or kicking them, and then locking them in rooms, to different other types of abuse that more align with like neglect. Sometimes you're in situations where kids can't verbalize exactly what they're experiencing in the abuse. So recognizing the warning signs, such as material changes in behavior, changes in demeanor, marks, or kids that are reacting differently to certain types of things, recognize that those could be signs of abuse is important. Unfortunately, it is all too pervasive in daycares, as we see. And that's what makes this world so scary, is it requires so much trust for a parent to turn their child over to a daycare, and not be there and trust that that daycare will protect them. That it's not always easy to tell. And that's why it's so important that when these incidents do happen, that we're doing everything we can to achieve justice, because that creates vigilance within the community, whether it be at that daycare or all the other ones that hear about it and hear that that daycare is being held accountable, or hear that the state might be looking at stripping that daycare of their license. We very often represent child abuse victims and child sexual abuse victims who maybe they were abused when they were 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, and we're now representing them in their mid-20s. That's very common that we do that, because that's the law recognizes that they should have time to recognize that they have a claim, feel comfortable talking with an attorney, and then litigating that claim. In Missouri, that time for most claims starts when they turn 21 years old. And that's when the 5-year clock starts to bring a claim against the people that were negligent, or the entities that were negligent, such as the daycare. If it's an abuse situation, sometimes it's 2 years against the perpetrator. If it's a sexual abuse situation, it's until they turn 31 against the perpetrator. I don't care if the person came to us 1 day after it happened, 1 minute after it happened, or 20 years after it happened. The important thing is deciding to fight and finding someone that's going to stand with you in that fight, and going forward with it. So if you have a question, pick up the phone, ask the questions, get information, and that way make a decision. But certainly don't be deterred by the passage of time.